Hi there, YouTube. Sorry, in the car driving again. I'm actually on my way to go pick up my oldest daughter from some volunteer work that she's doing for college. For college high school. She goes to an early college. Just want to talk about a couple of things today. Before I get to the vent portion, I'll just talk a little bit about the good stuff. Today I'm 5 weeks and 4 days. So far, I've not had a whole lot of problems. Last night I had a little cramping in what felt like my cervix, and I did get a little worried about that. However, I kind of read online, and that seemed pretty normal, and I want to say I've had that before with the other pregnancies too, so I tried not to read into it too much. Other than that, I feel okay. No bleeding, no spotting. Like I said, the little bit of discharge that I was having last week has seemed to slow down a little bit. Like I said, I think that is coming from the progesterone supplements, but I'm not real sure. I've been trying not to go and call my regular doctor and bother him about that, and then the one night that it looked like it was getting heavier and I got concerned, I did go to the ER, and of course, they didn't see anything. Their whole thing was, well, it's not blood, so you're okay. So my thought process was, it's not getting heavier. It seems to be lightening up some. So maybe, it's just a side effect from the progesterone, and perhaps my body's, getting more used to the progesterone, so maybe it's not as bad. Not real sure about that. But nonetheless, that seems to be doing all right. Side effects, still having a little bit of breast tingling here and there, mostly on the sides of my breast, like, where your armpits are type thing almost. And it kind of comes and goes. Sometimes I can be completely fine, and then just out of nowhere, it'll start again, which makes me wonder sometimes, are my levels increasing at that point? I don't know. Still, like I said, a little bit of cramping off and on, not real bad. A lot of round ligament pain. Yesterday I sneezed and I just thought I was going to drop dead. That was not a pretty feeling. But, it's normal from what I gathered. I feel like I'm starting to catch a little bit of a cold. And for me, I have noticed every single pregnancy, and like I said, this is number 5 for me, I have gotten a cold at the very beginning of my pregnancy. Sorry, I keep looking away because I'm driving. I'm checking switch lanes. But every pregnancy I've gotten a cold. And I don't necessarily know if it's a full-blown cold or if it's a sinus issue each pregnancy. I just know that a couple of days ago, I started to the point where every day now, usually in the morning before I head to work, I have to start blowing my nose. It's like a never fails thing. I can't breathe when I get up in the morning, so I have to blow my nose. So it might just be sinuses and not necessarily a cold, but I will say that every pregnancy I've had the same issue. So other than that, we're doing all right. This morning I got up and I did one of my favorite pastimes. I went yard sailing. And, I'm one of those people, and you'll see this when you see my nursery tour at some point. I am a planner. I like to plan. I like to make sure that I have everything I could possibly need to be prepared for what's going on. So and that's in any situation. So of course with the baby, I want to make sure I have enough clothes, enough diapers, enough socks, enough bibs. And some people would call it overkill. And my thought process is, me and my husband can afford it. I have always taken good care of my kids. They've never wanted for anything, even when we weren't as well off as we are now. My kids still had stuff. Well, now that I'm older, and everything that I could possibly want, we already have. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just illustrating a point. Is that I have money, and I don't really have anything to do with it, if that makes sense. So for me, it's not that I'm a shopaholic, because I'm not. Because in fact, I despise going shopping for myself, like clothes shop. Oh, I hate it. But I am like a coupon discount deal junkie, if that makes sense. It literally turns me on to be able to go to the store and get something on clearance, to be able to find it on Craigslist absolutely dirt cheap, to be able to go to a yard sale and come home with $200 and $300 worth of little kid clothes for $3. I mean, for me, it just doesn't get any better than that. And I know that sounds bad, but it's the truth. So, ever since we found out I was pregnant, and even before, you got to think, I've been trying to conceive for 13 years. So over those 13 years, sporadically, I've gone to thrift stores, I've gone to yard sales, I've looked on Craigslist, and I've bought stuff when people are selling it. And of course, with this pregnancy, we have a really good feeling about this one. So, we started buying stuff right away. And in fact, I was probably buying stuff before we even knew I was pregnant, when we thought I was. And so I've hit up several yard sales in the last 2 weeks, because you got to think, I've only known that I'm pregnant 2 weeks. In fact, today made 2 weeks. We found out on September 1st. So for me, we've gone to the yard sales, and I've gone to a couple where it was, everything you can cram in a little shopping bag is $2. Everything you can cram is $1, or everything is 10 cents a piece. I went and got maternity clothes at one lady's yard sale the day I found out I was pregnant. We're talking motherhood maternity, in due time. We're talking name brand maternity clothes for $1 a piece. Some of them still have the tags on them, brand new. I'm not going to walk away from that. I'm sorry, I'm just not. If I can fit it, it's going in the bag. Baby clothes, we don't know what we're having, of course, obviously, because I'm really early, and I don't want to know because I want it to be a surprise. Because I'm a planner, there are very few things that I get to be surprised by, if that makes sense. So for me, being able to not know what we're having and find out on the delivery day is what I like. Now, my oldest daughter, I knew. I found out ahead of time because I wanted to know. With the second one, I didn't know. And, of course, the last two that I lost, I didn't know. So this one, of course, I don't want to know. Now, DH, he wants to know. But, he's agreed to not know if I choose not to know. Although his whole thing is, well, I just think it would make planning easier. Well, for us, not really, because the nursery's already set up. Everything's unisex as far as the bedding and the paint color on the walls and trim and everything. Clothing wise, we have an entire wardrobe of unisex clothes. And then we have, I think at this point we have 4 like tough box bins of baby boy clothes, and 3, and I'll have to go get another box of girl clothes. It won't make a difference at this point if it's a girl or a boy. For me, I just want the baby to show up healthy and happy. So I'm not too worried about trying to find out what it is. But anyhow, back to my point. So, we get, when I go out to the yard sales, sometimes I get unisex stuff, sometimes I get boys, sometimes I get girl. It doesn't bother me because, of course, we know we want more kids anyhow. So even after we have this one and this one makes it safely, we're going to try again for another one. So, if I end up with a little boy this time, we might end up with a little girl next time, or vice versa, or 2 little girls or 2 little boys. Of course, DH thinks it's twins, which is a whole nother story because I keep thinking, I'm starting to agree with him. And at first I was like, oh, he's just saying that. But I am really starting to agree with him. And we'll come back to that in a minute. So back to my shopping. So today I got up and went to yard sales. The first place I went, I ended up getting My Little Ponies for my stepdaughter, and they were $1 a piece. So I got 3. I ended up going to a different yard sale, and I was able to get 2 little outfits for 50 cents a piece, 2 little girl outfits. Well, one's unisex and one's a girl. And then 2 little blankets for $2. Now, I thought the blanket price was a little high, but they were in really good condition, and they were brand new. I think she said one of them she never used. So I was like, okay. And they were both unisex blankets. So then went to the 3rd yard sale and picked up another little My Little Pony set, and this was like a little My Little Pony dance stage with 3 ponies, and she only charged me $1 for all 4 pieces. So of course that's a better deal than the first place, but it's okay. And that's the biggest thing that I find is I'll go to one yard sale and it'll be sort of what I consider overpriced compared to what else I've seen, and I'll buy like $5 worth of stuff and walk away having paid $5, and then I'll go to another yard sale further down the road and I will get like quadruple the amount of stuff for like less than half the cost. And then I'm a little ill because I'm like, crap, I shouldn't have got the first stuff. But it is what it is. And another funny thing about when I go yard selling is you can tell that, and I find this mostly with little boy clothes, not so much with the girl clothes, but little boy clothes. I will go to like 5 or 6 yard sales in the same day, and all of the clothes will be almost identical at everyone's house. They're all the same. And I'm going to stop the video for part 1 here and then re-record the second part.